Okay, getting into a little bit more modern book. This is a design and simulation of four-stroke engines by Gordon P. Blair. This was come out in, I think, 1999, if I remember right. I think I bought this pretty much right around the actual release date of it. It's also a Society of Automotive Engineers book, and that's one of the reasons why I became a member, so that I could be aware of this sort of thing coming out. Yeah, 1999. But again, as you can see by the bookmarks all through it, another excellent volume. You can learn an awful lot from this. Go through a little bit of this. I'm not gonna. There's a whole section on gas flow through four-stroke engines, which obviously is incredibly important. Got information on transitions from various pipes, like if you're going into a intake manifold or exhaust manifold. Again, a lot of really good stuff here. Reflection of pressure waves in tapered pipes. Basically a megaphone collector, which comes into use sometimes with pro stock engines and others. Again, like I said, a lot of very good information. A lot better than anything you're going to get out of, say, a car magazine. Discharge coefficients of four-stroke engines, within four-stroke engines. Again, another very important parameter. How to measure it, what's good and what's bad, formulas. If you want to build an engine intelligently, this is the sort of information you need to know, and it makes a big difference when you do know this sort of thing as compared to just throwing something together because Hot Rod told you that was the hot ticket. Computer modeling of four-stroke engines, and get into actually optimizing many of the parameters. A lot of good charts on here, and even though maybe a lot of what they're doing here doesn't specifically apply to your engine, you get the idea of how to go about getting these engine parameters correct. Though we've got all kinds of charts talking about, effective valve overlap and effective change in the intake manifold to port area ratio, and just incredibly good information in this book. This is probably actually my favorite book when it comes to reference on true good engine building. Let's see what else we got here. Heinz Heisler's Advanced Engine Technology. Again, another good book. You can see I've got all kinds of bookmarks through here as well. Good information here. Talking about balancing, turbulent combustion, methods of getting turbulent combustion, methods for calculating the proper squish blip, which that's something I used on the turbocharged engine, one of the last engines that my dad had in his car. And by the way, I guess I haven't actually posted a video yet. I'll have a short video talking a little bit about the 72 Pinto that he had, the last car that he raced. But I just found out today that Mom finally decided to sell that car. A guy came and got it, paid her a little bit of money for it. So that's out of her garage now after 10 years. But again, excellent information in this book. You wonder why so many people's engines make such good power. Well, this is why. They aren't guessing at what they're doing. They know what's going on. That's why. That's why you've got factory V6s today making some of them 300 horsepower. I know that even the V6 in my Ford Escape, which is by no means a performance vehicle, it's making 260 horsepower. That would have been unheard of 20 years ago for a V6. The 5.0 Mustangs in the 80s are really making like 220 horsepower, and they were considered hot cars back then. But this section here is, speaking of this, carbureted, since this is, I think, a British book, but fuel systems. A lot of good information in here, talking about the different systems in a carburetor, air bleeds, why they are the size that they are, and how to size them actually. In some an area in here somewhere. Very good information. And there's also a section on ignition. There was one on fuel injection back there too. A little bit more fuel injection stuff here too. Now we're getting into diesel type engines back here. Again, another very good book. I think this was written in the mid-90s sometime. And I got this way back when, understanding automotive electronics, when I was trying to understand fuel injection a little bit. It says a little bit of information on that. But it's all a combination of experience and learning. I've always been self-taught. Some of these other ones, I don't know if I'm going to pull them out or not. Just get kind of long and probably kind of boring to some people, if not to everybody. But those two books there, the Hot Hollies and Holly Tech by Alex Wilordy, are both actually pretty decent Holly carburetor references. Electronic fuel injection, Ford fuel injection, electronic engine control, how to service, understand, and modify. I bought that way back when I was working on EEC Ford vehicles. And there's some other stuff here, how to tune and modify Ford fuel injection and just plain fuel injection, period. Carter carburetors, that's a decent book, nothing special. A British book on how to build, modify, and power tune cylinder head. That was a little bit disappointing. It wasn't bad though. Engine blueprinting, yeah, I knew most of that. Carburetors and intake manifolds, how to build horsepower. I didn't see a whole lot in there I didn't already know. That's the way it was with most of these books. Over the years, I always bought them just in case there might be something that I could possibly garner from them. Most of the time, I really didn't, but sometimes there'd be a little bit of something in there. And this book on the end here was actually, get it out of here, was actually kind of disappointing. I paid a lot of money for this. It came from RacingSecrets.com. Home porting the Holly carb. Wasn't anything in there that I hadn't already done when I was about 20 years old. So I guess maybe I shouldn't say it's disappointing. It was disappointing to me because I didn't really learn anything from it. But if you're you never did any of this sort of thing, I suppose it probably would be useful to you. So I don't want to misrepresent it and say it is not useful. But definitely, if you're at all experienced in this sort of work, it's probably not going to teach you anything that you didn't already know. But anyways, there's some of the texts that I use that I've taught myself to supplement what I already learned working with my dad and through hands-on experience. And this is by no means it. After this, I'm going down in the basement and I'll be videoing some other information that I also use. Oh, it looks like the dogs are really, I probably put you guys to sleep like I did them. Yeah, bored the heck out of them. I probably did you too, but yeah, somebody might find it interesting.